As I was digging around this asteroid that is supposedly going to hit Earth in 2032, and there's now a 3.1% chance it's increasing even though it's very small. As I was digging into this, I found this bizarre rabbit hole and this bizarre connection with the alien disclosure, the Oumuamua asteroid that was thought to be an alien pod. The year of 2027 and why there are certain whistleblowers talking about it.
They're showing up in 2027 and we better be prepared.
And there's cryptic website and it predicted some of these asteroids, talks about how it has something to do with aliens. Not only that, there's also a slight chance that this might actually be connected to why billionaires are building bunkers. Now, these are just theories, and with that being said, let's explore this topic. Look at this. The chances of this asteroid hitting Earth keep rising, but there are 4 reasons. I'm not sure if you guys know about this, but there is an asteroid that is supposedly coming for Earth in 2032, December 2032. They're announcing this like it's a movie. It's really bizarre. The asteroid is 2024 YR4, and as of now, it has a 3.1% chance of hitting Earth, and it's rising. So before we take a look into this possible connection between this asteroid, aliens, Oumuamua, and why billionaires are building bunkers, let's first analyze and find out what we can about this asteroid. Coming from Astro Kobe 1 day ago, I think this is quite an accurate video. Check this out.
You're doing. This is an important video with new information about that city killer asteroid that everyone is talking about. I told you 9 days ago that there was a 1 in 50 chance that this massive asteroid impacts Earth in 2032. Now, using new data, NASA has a more accurate view of the asteroid's path, and they are saying there is now a 1 in 32 chance the asteroid hits us. This is now
it's rising. If I'm not mistaken, it's at 3.1 right now, but then it goes down, then it goes up again. Apparently there's a really good explanation to why this happens, and this guy here, Scott Manley, explains it really well. We're gonna get to that in just a few seconds, but before, let's take a look at what he has to say.
Hits us. This is now the highest risk assessment any asteroid has ever received. This simulation shows where on Earth the asteroid could hit, and terrifyingly it does overlap with a number of major cities, including Mumbai, India, Dhaka, Bangladesh, Lagos, Nigeria, and Bogota, Colombia. Over 100 million people live in the cities at risk. Now, here's the good news. JWST, the most powerful telescope in space, will be looking at the asteroid over the coming month, giving us a more accurate view of how big it is and what it is made of.
When he talks about risk assessment, let me take a look at this. So apparently China opens recruitment for planetary defense force amid fears of asteroid hitting Earth. So they're actually recruiting people for this planetary defense system. I'm thinking about all these orbs, drones thing that's going on. And then I remember there was this talk that some of the drones were from China, and now China's recruiting for a planetary defense force. This is kind of weird. Let's continue this. So this is coming from LBC on TikTok. Let's take a look at this.
7.7 megatons worth of TNT. It's about 500 times more powerful than the biggest bomb we exploded during World War II. 500 times more powerful.
Okay, that's powerful.
Think of the destruction we wrought on each other in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is 500 times more powerful than that, just because the energy of it coming through the atmosphere, causing shock waves, and because of the heating, exploding. So it's like a grenade. A grenade is no bigger than your fist, but it can do...
Yeah, okay, so this is astronaut Chris Hadfield talking about it, and yeah, I get it, like it's 500 times stronger than the Hiroshima. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, so we don't know exactly where it's gonna hit, right? So apparently we know. No one knows exactly where it's gonna hit. Here it says that the risk corridor includes India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Sudan, Nigeria, and the list goes on. This is basically where they think it will hit. And then there's this very interesting animation. So it doesn't hit Earth. When is this animation from? Because I've seen a newer one. So this was posted 23 hours ago by this guy, Galleria Dimitrito. So apparently things already changed and it actually goes through Earth. And actually even shows where it's gonna hit. gonna be in. Look at that. Well, that was as of yesterday.
When it has a 1.2% chance of hitting Earth. Jokes, it's now gone up to 2.3%. So now it's up to 3.1%. But still level 3 on the Torino scale, which is good. It's still level 3 on the Torino scale. Which
That's good, right?
Is good.
Okay.
I hope. We shall see how things progress.
So the Torino scale is a system used by astronomers to categorize the potential impact hazards of near-Earth objects. So this was 6 hours ago. One asteroid 2024 YR4 has reached the record level on impact hazard scale. What? So this is the Torino scale, and we got 2 to 4 here. So we got yellow. The chance of a collision is around 1%. But we're at 3%, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I don't know. This feels kind of odd. So we got Scott Manley YouTube channel talking about it. I think this is kind of important.
The probability goes up, 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 and then suddenly it drops to 0 very quickly. That's probably what we're going to see. But maybe it isn't. So now we've observed it for the past few weeks. What do we know about it? Is it actually a real threat if it hits the Earth? And the answer is yes, it could actually be a real threat if it hits the Earth. It would make quite a big boom. It was unfortunately discovered too late to get any radar observations in on it, so we don't have a really good constraint on the size of the object. What we're doing is looking at the brightness and saying, based upon its estimated surface reflectivity, albedo, it could be anywhere from 40 to 90 meters across, which, that's a factor of 2, but because it's a volume, it's squared, and because we don't know the density, this object could be anywhere from, say, 25,000 tons to 1,000,000 tons of mass.
Wow. So let me get this straight. We still don't know what it's made of. So this is a big difference. It makes a big difference, as I understand. So one of the strategies is smash the spacecraft into it. Tractor, ion beams, paint. What? How are they going to paint one of its sizes white? Then we have the obvious movie-like option, more advanced option here. But what if everything fails? So if everything fails, we'll have a good idea of the strike zone of the asteroid, which is not a planet killer. Whew, that's good. Here is the size of this asteroid, and it's about 90 meters wide. Metaball Studios YouTube channel. They have an impact simulation of a meteor this size. Let's take a look at what happens. Okay, that's bad. I was expecting something really worse, but that's bad. That's already very bad. Now, from what I understand, what Scott Manley says is that we don't know the density of this asteroid and we don't know exactly what it's made of. So this kind of changes the impact. Now, there's this other situation which is entirely different, and it's just a theory that this asteroid could actually be some sort of an alien spaceship heading towards Earth. Well, this is something that's going on Reddit and other social medias. People are starting to ask these questions because there's this entire alien disclosure situation going on. Whistleblowers and people on 4chan have already posted about the year of 2027 onward that something important would happen, and there's people asking questions like, is this it? Is this part of what's going to happen?
And like Icarus, the rocket foolishly soared too high and lost control of its servo guidance mechanism, leaving us with some 6 hours to live.
So we're going to explore this right now to see if there's anything to it. So as I'm looking for more information, it seems that this thing with asteroids has been happening since December 2024 amidst that drones and orbs thing, which to me is kind of odd. So as you can see here, since December 3rd, NASA detects asteroid that's due to hit Earth's atmosphere in a matter of hours. So I don't know, I get this feeling as if since December, since the drones and the orbs thing, we're looking at the possibility of an asteroid hitting Earth. It didn't happen back in December, and now it's going to happen in 2032. And the main question here is, why is it becoming such a normal thing for asteroids to hit Earth since December? Are these actually asteroids? Is it something else? Does it have anything to do with the alien disclosure situation? So just as an example, in 2017 we had Oumuamua, which was thought to be an alien ship.
We detected an object flying through our solar system from interstellar space for the first time ever, and some astronomers believe it could be from aliens. So this is Oumuamua, and it was detected back in 2017. Oumuamua seems to be moving faster than predicted by gravity alone, meaning it must be receiving some additional push. Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard believes the additional push comes from radiation pressure from the sun, where Oumuamua acts sort of like a sail, being pushed along by the light from the sun. But in order for this push to work, Oumuamua would have to be less than 1 millimeter thick.
So I guess this is not the case, it's thicker than that, so that would mean... what?
Despite being 100 meters long. Earlier this year, researchers proposed Project Lyra, where we send a spacecraft chasing after Oumuamua to find the answers that we've all been looking for.
So this is something I always thought to myself, we've been sending these probes into space for a while now, since the 60s I guess. What if there are aliens? What if they got in contact with us in the past? What if they said at some point, okay, we'll get in touch with you guys in 2025? Or, I don't know, 2027 maybe? What if this is why disclosure is actually happening now?
Population at least, and by extension, the world population, and to that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before, previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do.
They're low. 3 of them.
야, 这是哪物件？
有啊，我哩biết啊，喂，這架飛機。
啊，一隻飛機過你那隻，還無有啊？你個辦安尼無啊？倒火嗰啲，啊，一擺倒火。
辦了幾車幾條呢？
嗰條哪啲？無啦，伊啲試驗嗰啲啦。
啊，這連落萬一倒啊，只起靈。
無啦，飛機呢，一隻飛機過你，我想明星啊。
So what are they talking about 2027? And does it have anything to do with this asteroid? So I found this link. I may have found where the 2027 date comes from. We've had multiple people related to the UFO community talk about 2027 date. John Ramirez, and now this latest speculation about an object coming to meet hit us. Now this was posted before we had news about this asteroid coming for Earth. And then he posts this link. Forgotten Languages was mentioned in the Schellenberger briefing document, purported to be a website associated with cryptography. So this is the link, and doing a quick search 2027, I come across this. We know that in the year 2027 there will be a collision with an asteroid. We know its dimensions, its orbit, and we have calculated with absolute certainty the devastating effects that such a collision will have in terrestrial civilization. It will not be lethal, but it will only be the first of 3 collisions. So 2027, 2032, and... So according to this book, there's something coming for Earth, something bigger, and it starts, and it's going to happen in 3s. 2027 is the first one, and then 2032 possibly the second, and then... what? Now of course this is just a theory, but being that Elizondo and other whistleblowers talked about 2027 being an important year, and that this book was written before news got out of this asteroid, It's kind of bizarre. It's kind of a big coincidence, but it could be just a coincidence.
On October 19th, 2017. And at that time, it was receding away from us. And at first, astronomers thought it must be a piece of rock, just like all the asteroids and comets that we have seen from within the solar system. The amount of light, sunlight that was reflected from it was changing over 8 hours by a factor of 10. But the point is that it's very extreme, was of a flat object. Then there was no cometary tail, no dust, no gas around this object, or carbon-based molecules. There was nothing. So it's definitely not a comet the way people expected it to be.
So could it be that some of these objects that we think are asteroids are actually not asteroids as stated in this book? Maybe they're coming to meet us, not to hit us. Not only that, it could explain why they're speeding up this closure.
Mr. Elizondo, in regards to these aircraft being piloted by whatever they might be, non-human biologics, would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin. The F-16, which is this older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G-forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So would it be safe to infer that they're living craft?
Now, if this is the case, it could explain why certain people like Mark Zuckerberg are actually building bunkers. It's not just him.
Mark Zuckerberg. Did you hear about the house he's building in Hawaii? Freaky.
No.
Oh, freaky. And he's building this very secretive compound. Built walls all around this property so no one can see what he's doing. Okay. And everyone working on the site has to sign an NDA. Some of the plans for his lair, mansion, whatever compound got leaked. Basically, it's a mansion, but underneath it is a bigger mansion with the walls are made out of metal and concrete, blast doors.
No.
And they have their own underground room or whatever to where they can grow their own food. They have their own water supply. He's making its own self-sufficient place. And one of the things had an actual nuclear blast door.
He's getting as far away from civilization.
Yeah, this is really weird. And I guess this was in Hawaii, right?
The idea with being in Hawaii is I guess you want to be surrounded by water or just unreachable.
Or just unreachable, probably.
Yeah, I think unreachable.
Is this guy in New Zealand who's a contractor who builds basically underground giant bunkers. He's had over 11 billionaires build bunkers in New Zealand. And it's a reoccurring theme where all these billionaires are building bunkers and doing all this weird stuff.
Wow, that is a pretty nice bunker. And a pretty expensive one too. So there's a bunch of articles on that. This was 2 years ago. This was 1 year ago. So apparently something started happening a year or 2 years ago that they started building bunkers.
Bunkers and doing all this weird stuff.
And New Zealand, why would New Zealand? So New Zealand is completely out of reach of these asteroids. Is that it? Let me take a look at this. Yeah, I guess that's it. So this 2024 YR4 asteroid is going to be going for this direction over here, right? So New Zealand is far off. So whatever's going on, if they know something that we don't, they're building things really, really far away from any other continent and close to the South Pole. Yeah, I kind of feel that there might be something to it, but at the same time, it could be just far-fetched. And maybe these billionaires are just spending their money where they want to with bunkers because it's like a trend or something like that. By the way, this asteroid 2024 YR4 is most likely not to hit Earth the chances are very minimal, and this book that I found is just a book, so these things are just theories and ideas. Do not take them seriously. But at the same time, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that there's something to it when it comes to asteroids and alien ships and disclosure? Does it all connect somehow? Leave a comment down below, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.